Israelite isn't a religion, it's ancestral ties. And if I had a religion, then it would be the scripture. Religiously, yes, but biblically, no. Many converted, not all, but physically most. So what's the verdict? Where did the originals go? Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Zimbabwe, Ghana, scattered across the globe.
To let you Negroes know, but you gotta have your eyes open. To let you Negroes know that you not no stinking ass Africans, man.
We are not the same. You Negroes in America are not African, man. So stop crying over that doodle-eating Hamite, so-called African, man. He's not our people, all right? And if you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians calling yourself anything but an Israelite, when who you English call Jesus Christ come on the scene, you will be put to death. Thus saith the Bible. Thus saith the Lord. You Negroes are not African, all right?
Hebrews. Now, black people are ticklish on this because black people think that everything in the Bible is true. I question the intelligence of anyone who thinks everything in the Bible is true or supposed to be true. It's allegory, stories told to illustrate a point at a time when there were very few people reading books. And most of what went into the making of the Bible was copied from Egyptian texts. Now, if you want to get so dewy-eyed over the Bible, which is a carbon copy of a carbon copy, why don't you go back and read the original Egyptian text? The Hebrew faith was the handmaiden of a concept called the chosen people.
Chosen, September, this is where European Jews get God's chosen children. It came out of September. Ra chose the first people. God chose the first people to be on the planet were African people. All anthropological records have documented that African people were the first people on the planet Earth. Ra has kissed you from the dawn of time. That's why you've got melanin.
You see where the story of the Exodus started from. Now you can so do it. You actually think there was an Exodus. These people walked into Africa. Why couldn't they walk out?
We become prisoners to circumstances in history. Becoming prison to these circumstances in history. We still react to this conquest of the mind. In slavery, we wanted to associate ourselves with the people who had escaped from something. So we read a Jewish escape story called the Exodus. And we believed it. And we didn't examine the story. Because if you examine the story, you will find the story is told to instill faith in a people. And sometimes, if a story is told to instill faith and truth, the illustration used to get the point across need not be true.
You didn't have a Bible before you came here. That's right. That's right. But when you was given the Bible, you was told that the people in that Bible are not you for so long that reacting sets in and you start to wonder, maybe I am those people in the Bible. In 1960s, Abba Bivens, this is their guy. This is how they started. It's a guy named Abba Bivens. He was taught by an ex-slave. Makes perfect sense. Because as slaves, that's when we got the Bible. Makes perfect sense. He was taught by an ex-slave as an Israelite. 1973, they had this guy named Moshe Ben Kareem. He took Abba Bivens' place. This brother right here in 1973. Then 5 other people joined them. They called themselves the Seven, and they started concocting this doctrine.
All right, hold him sign up. This is your worst enemy right here. You got to straighten this out before we can make a move. Call the tribes out, brother. Judah. Huh? All right. Judas, the so-called Negro. Who's that? Benjamin, the so-called West Indian. Levi, so-called Haitians. Simeon, Dominica, Zebulun, from Guatemala to Panama, Ethan, Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, Cuban, Gad, North American Indian, Reuben, Seminole Indians, Naphtali, Argentina, Asher, Colombia, Issachar, the Mexican. That's it.
The remnant of Jacob, as you so-called Negroes, West Indian, Puerto Rico, which is the nation of Israel, shall be in the midst of many people. The many people that you're in the midst of is the so-called white man, the African, the Arab, the Chinese, all these different nations that's here in America, the melting pot.
We have to stop all of this nonsense. A lot of people need to stop reading some religious books and read some straight history. Without fable, without supposition, without myth. Read straight history. Every element that went into the making of every major religion in the world started in Africa. Why is it that you are so naive? You let people redress something that you invented, sell it back to you, and enslave you through it. I'm saying that African belief systems, properly understood, is 10 times better than Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And better for the Africans.
We catching hell just because we represent the truth. You've been duped into worshiping gods with Eurocentric roots. We catching hell just because we represent the truth. You've been duped into worshiping gods with esoteric roots. We catching hell just because we represent the truth. You've been duped into worshiping gods with Eurocentric roots.
Oh man, never thought about it like that. Let's do some research. You here every Saturday?
Now the question is, when are we going to stop this foolishness?